Alright guys, welcome back to another one. So we've got a pretty exciting random shadow drop announcement of Final Fantasy XVI coming to PC on September 17th. We've known that the PC version of the game has been coming for quite some time. Creative Business Unit 3 have been working on it over the course of this year, though I wasn't expecting it to just be shadow dropped like this. Quite interesting. It seems to be more of a thing that Square Enix are kind of doing these days with game announcements. With Gamescom happening very shortly, I was expecting it to be revealed here, but I guess a day before Gamescom? Okay, sure, we'll take it. What's even cooler though is Square Enix dropped a demo for the PC version. All of the gameplay that you guys are seeing right now is PC footage, and this is releasing on both Steam and EGS day one. Bless. It seems as if Square Enix really are taking on the multi-platform business strategy that they announced earlier this year. We went through the hell of the Kingdom Hearts games being stuck on EGS since 2021. Finally this year, of course, we got the releases on Steam, but it's great to see another heavy hitter Square Enix title releasing on PC, but on both storefronts. This is also a relatively quick PC port follow-up for Square Enix. If we look at Final Fantasy VII Remake, that got the PC version on the 17th of June 2022, about 2 years after the PlayStation 4 version. And Kingdom Hearts 3 came to PC around about the same time, 2 years after the original release. So with Final Fantasy XVI getting its PC version just over a year after that original console version, may tell us that Square Enix going forward are looking at getting PC ports out quicker. Because looking at the eventual release of Kingdom Hearts 4, I do not believe that will be a day one PC and console release, but no doubt we will eventually get a PC version of that game. Hopefully it will be similar to 16, where it only takes about a year for it to release. Now I have to comment on the performance of the PC version of 16, because what in the name of God's given optimization is this? This is probably one of the most well-optimized PC versions of a Square Enix game I think I have played. This game runs like a dream. Like, my god is it well optimized. I'm working with an AMD Ryzen 9 5900X along with an RTX 4070 Ti, so I've definitely got some half-decent stuff in my build. But of course, not the best of the best. I have heard from what I'm seeing on social media that even with older parts, the game still works incredibly well. I'm playing everything here on Ultra, I'm playing at 144 frames, as well as at 4K, and my god, being able to play Final Fantasy XVI just due to how hectic and chaotic the combat of this game gets at 4K at incredibly high frame rates is a dream. It's a similar situation to do with Kingdom Hearts because it's so action orientated. The higher the frame rate, the better the game feels, and it's the exact same here with Final Fantasy XVI. But if I'm comparing the optimization of Kingdom Hearts 3 PC to 16 PC, yeah, like 16 just takes it home using the exact same hardware. 16 runs a lot smoother than Kingdom Hearts 3 does. Like, it's clear that Creative Business Unit 3 really took their time to make sure that the PC version of this game is so well optimized. While I don't think that 16 is Square Enix's most visually striking AA game, it certainly is a gorgeous game to behold. And seeing all of these environments at much higher fidelity here on PC is an absolute treat. Of course, one of the most exciting things about Steam releases is the option to be able to play these games portably via Steam Deck. Now, I haven't personally tried out 16 on Steam Deck, but from what I'm seeing, apparently it doesn't run too great. Though this doesn't come as a surprise because, like, if we look at the PlayStation 5 version, back when it launched last year, there was actually an issue where the game was making PS5s overheat. Now, because this was quite a widespread issue, Square Enix quickly dispatched an optimization hotfix, which at this point means that it doesn't overheat PS5s, but pretty crazy to think. And if it was doing that to PS5 at launch, then I don't think the experience here on Steam Deck is going to be too great. From what I'm seeing here on Reddit, people are getting anywhere from like 24 to 30 frames with dips happening in big flashy action sequences. This is of course with everything set to the absolute lowest. It is playable though, like people should know that. It is playable, but you're probably going to come across some issues. This isn't to say though that Square Enix might not go out of their way to make further optimization for Steam Deck if of course the Kingdom Hearts games, specifically looking at Kingdom Hearts 3, is anything to go by, as Kingdom Hearts 3 does work pretty well on Steam Deck. Final Fantasy XVI though, keep in mind, is a much more demanding game than Kingdom Hearts 3. But overall, the PC optimization here is really really, really good. The fact that the game compiles shaders and it also uses NVIDIA DLSS is all great things to really improve performance here, something that I wish Kingdom Hearts 3 had. The other great thing about this game coming to PC is mods, though there is something to keep in mind about this, and that's the engine that 16 runs on. It is apparently an in-house proprietary engine, but it isn't the Luminos engine that Square Enix previously used for games like Final Fantasy 15, and of course it's not Unreal Engine. The reason why a game like Kingdom Hearts 3 has just so many mods is because the game runs on Unreal Engine. Unreal is a pretty universal engine at this point, and the fact that Epic offer the engine to literally anyone, and that there's a lot of knowledge surrounding the engine, makes creating mod content for games that work on this engine relatively straightforward. However, when a game is using a proprietary engine of its own, it makes stuff like mod content a little bit difficult and tricky to create. I'm sure that eventually we will see Final Fantasy 16 mods, but the process isn't going to happen straight away. And lastly, a brand new art for 16 was released, drawn by Takahashi Kazuya. We've got Clive Jill and the icons of Shiva and Ifrit. It looks simply gorgeous. This is to commemorate the PC version release. Now the game is launching at $50 US. We've also got the complete edition, which will come with all of the DLC for $70 US. I was definitely expecting them to launch this at full price, but they decided to go $10 down. Always nice to see. We know that Final Fantasy 16 didn't exactly meet targets, and this is due in part to the fact that the game was solely launched as a PlayStation 5 exclusive. So I am hoping that Square Enix are able to recoup some of that money here with the PC version release. Who knows if the game is ever going to come to Xbox as well. I would have thought that at least before the PC version, an Xbox port would be announced, but it's nowhere in sight. Going back through this game recently, it's just reminded me how good of a time this game is. Like, 16 has received some flack, and this is to come expected with any modern mainline Final Fantasy game to release in this current day and age. The common complaint that you'll come across though is the lack of RPG elements, and yes, admittedly, for a Final Fantasy game, that is something that just shouldn't really be a thing. Final Fantasy is an RPG through and through, whereas 16 is certainly more of a hack and slash with incredibly, and I mean incredibly more so than Kingdom Hearts, light RPG elements. With that being said, I think it's incredibly cool that we've got a AAA Final Fantasy title that is a hack and slash. The combat system of this game is raw, just completely f***ing raw. And so it should be if we've got the Devil May Cry 5 combat designer, Ryota Suzuki, who was responsible for leading the combat system here in Final Fantasy 16. This game genuinely has some of the most insane, impressive, over-the-top, chaotic, just heart-racing, blood-pumping set pieces that I think I've ever experienced in a video game. And yes, while those icon moments of the boss fights are pretty much just on rails, very automated cinematic type sequences, holy shit, are you entertained right from the beginning to the end. Specifically looking at the Titan and Bahamut boss fight sequences, oh my god, they are just raw as hell. Looking at Final Fantasy 17, I think if Square Enix could take what they did here in 16 with its combat system, apply more RPG elements, and a little bit of the DNA from Final Fantasy 7 Remake and Rebirth, you would likely end up with the peak Final Fantasy experience. Either way though, I'm glad that more people are going to be able to play this game when it releases on PC next month. However guys, that's all for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. Be sure to subscribe to the channel to keep up with everything that's going on here. Check out my other garbage social media platforms, links below. A big thank yous to my wonderful Turkey-tastic patrons. I appreciate your support. I hope you're all having a fantastic day, and we'll talk real soon.